It doesn't get much better than what you did tonight, but you know, I guess talk about it. I mean, how did you feel out there this evening?
I felt good after, I was sitting home a lot after the Anderson, after the Whitaker, questioning myself a lot, I go from 5 first-round stoppages in 5 wins in a row in the first round, and then, I lose that fight with Whitaker just being overzealous, really trying to hunt for a title shot opposed to just, being a part of the process. And then, I go and take a short notice fight against Anderson, feel I did enough to get the win and don't get the win there. So, yeah, it definitely sucked being at home for a while.
You touched on it a little bit in your post-fight speech, but I think a lot of people were concerned about your training, how prepared were you going to be, what's going on. Can you talk about, I guess, what your situation is? I mean, did it end up being beneficial for you and kind of what you see for yourself moving forward in that regard?
Yeah, I'm getting older, and my kids are getting older. So it's kind of tough to, make those trips out to Albuquerque back when I was 25, 26, and just stay out there for 4 to 6 weeks. So I'm just trying to find better ways to do it. So, I think I'm going to probably go out there and meet with Greg and, work with those guys for the early part. And then when I'm at home, I got a guy in Atlanta, Manu, he trained Brian Stan. I think, Douglas Lima, Asensia, a lot of those guys. He's a really good stand-up guy, been in Thailand for a long time. He's right there for me. I can go to Atlanta, 45-minute flight, there back, go for 2 days and get back home to my little one. So it's definitely been working, a lot of patience in my striking, and it's been coming along.
Very nice. And you touched on, too, the Anderson fight. We talked about it beforehand. I mean, I think a lot of people had it going your direction. But is that one that you want to try to get again? I mean, I know he doesn't have very many fights. Do you want to try to run that back, or do you feel like you just put it in the past and move on?
I don't know. That fight left such a sour taste in my mouth because, when you go out here, you fight, whether the fight is fun, exciting, or snoozer, Like I said, before that, out of my 6 fights, 5 of them ended in the first round. So if I go against Anderson and, it's a decision and it's a bad fight, so what? I performed, 5 or 6 fights. I think it should be judged fairly. And, when you go into a fight and you look at the stats, it's very clear. I mean, the guy barely hit me that fight. I hit him. I took him down. He defended some of my takedowns. But, I mean, I definitely should have got that decision.
There's a big fight coming up in a few weeks between 2 guys that you've fought before, and Rob and Yoel. How do you see that fight going?
That's an interesting fight. I like USADA. USADA been, putting a hold on a lot of guys. So, I mean, hey, you look at that fight with Romero, I kick myself, and I look at myself, and I'm like, Derek, are you going to keep coming out here and being stupid and just rushing people, blitzing people? Set it up. Take your time, So, that's what I'm doing. But, I look at that fight. A minute and 30 seconds left in that fight, I would have easily won that decision 30-27, So both guys are surging high, taking nothing away from either one of them. I think it'll be a good fight. Whoever can impose, they will. I can see both guys winning that fight.
How do you explain, sort of the balance that you've sort of showed in the last 3 fights? Like, you come out all guns blazing against Rob and obviously get caught. With Anderson, you're a little bit more circumspect, and today you took your time and looked for your shot. What was your mindset? What's the difference in mindset? Why were you so different in 3 separate fights?
Just Derek, stop being so stupid. I've been sitting at home moping for months. God, I was stupid. I wake up in the middle of the night or wake up in the morning man, that was stupid. Just thinking of the previous fights. That was just stupid. You got to be more a part of the process. Still need to go train, all these hours and then go out there and try to get it done unrealistically. Set it up. Take your time. So, yeah, just slapping myself so many times.
You mentioned post-fight Antonio Carlos Jr. You obviously came out of this one, no damage, healthy, feeling good. So how quickly do you want to get back in there?
Pretty soon. I just bought a house, so yeah, it would have been a sour note to buy a house on a loss. But I just bought a house. I want to get back, get settled in that, just kiss my little ones. And yeah, the guy want to call me out, I'll fight anybody. I don't care. I'm pretty sure I fought probably 4 of everybody ranked ahead of me, 4 guys ranked ahead of me. So at this point, I just want to get out there, get more experience, and just fight anybody. If a guy's calling me out and it makes sense, you have a good record in the UFC. I think he's probably about 6-2 in the UFC. That's good enough, So, yeah, I'm just interested in fighting at this point, kind of like Cowboy.
Thanks, Derek.